Here we are yet again, music friends. We meet again. Here in the powerful, very, very exciting Orange Room. In the exciting Orange Room, there's so many activities. Paul G. Brown in the house and Michael Burrell. Music friends, what's going down? What's going on out there, you all? Greetings to you. Dennis says, I really enjoyed your Sweetwater Masterclass. Well, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Adam Baum, better than Jaeger and Blow. You're a rascal. Sissy Strut. That's right, Mike Young. How am I? I'm well today, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, right? Paul Brown and I were busy at work yesterday. We did a bunch of new vids, a new format we got going for the overviews for Wildwood with our new lighting and cameras and such. And a lot of excitement was in the air. Y'all better wear clean underwear. What? Ooh, that's a delicious. It's bubbly water, ladies and gentlemen. This is a delicious grapefruit bubbly. How can we get you to come to Rochester, New York? Well, we're working on trying to get out and about, but we'll see what shakes. We'll see what shakes. Anthony Robinson says, Heidi ho from London. Or Heidi hi. Heidi, 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 hi. What guitars were you most excited to play yesterday? Paul, there were a bunch of them yesterday that you guys have probably already seen. There was the Albert Collins Telecaster, the Rory Gallagher Strat, the Jimmy Vaughan Strat, the Stevie Ray Vaughan Strat, and a delicious purple sparkle Gretsch 53 Duo Jet, and the Livingston Yellow S2 McCarty 594 that I played last week, which was sold right away. But I did a quick overview and sent it back. So after we got done doing our thing yesterday, I had to pack them all up. Had to pack them all up and get them to UPS. Boy, that's a good song right there. It's about duties, about tasks. This is another. Leland Berg says, those S2s are very impressive. I have one my own self. I do like them immensely. This is another one. This is well, I've got the lowdown on this one right here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got the lowdown. This is a Wildwood exclusive 35th anniversary S2. Let's take a look at it as I speak about it. Look at that top. I like it. Quilted maple top, mahogany neckwood. The body itself is mahogany. This one is 7.42 pounds. It's pretty doggone light. Old school birds flying on the sweet, sweet neck. They're going ca-ca-ca-ca-ca-ca-ca-ca-ca-ca, swooping down on prey, which is your music's you're playing on this fretboard. The bird's like, ooh, that's delicious. Please, songsman, songswoman, songsperson, please play some sweet jams so I may pounce upon it and feed my young as I regurgitate your song in the nest. Wow, there's some visuals there for you folks. Never a dull moment here in Orange Room. Ebony fingerboard, 25-inch scale. The pickups, again, are the same pickups that were on the other one. 85/15S treble and bass humbuckers. Too many toggle coil tap switches. Better than a Spinal Tap, I say. Better than a Spinal Tap. And this one's got Mr. Wiggles on it. The other one had a stop tailpiece. That's a sweet guitar. A sweet guitar, ladies and gentlemen. That is a PRS. It is a PRS. And the link is right up above. You could buy this very own guitar if you wanted to. I'm sending it back to Wildwood after we get done doing some video activities. And Paul, those were some artsy-fartsy chords. Thank you very much. You know, I got to be careful. I can't get too artsy-fartsy, or else apparently some minds on the internet get very, very uptight. Minds on the internet. Elbar says, I always thought the inlays were ravens. Don't quote me. Yeah, it could be. They're a powerful bird, regardless. Swooping down. Say, is this a PRS? You're doggone right it is. It is a PRS, PRS, PRS. I like playing that song. I just coil tapped as opposed to Spinal Tap with this mini toggle switch, the neck pickup. So in that middle position, I still have bridge humbucker and then a tapped neck. Nice little. Can you dig it? That is the harmonic vibrato that is on the amplifier of doom. That is the Koch amplifier that bears my name. Like Greg. There's another one over here as well. Look at that. I got one over here and one over there. One is to show, the other to go. They both work. When I go out gigging, I'll grab that one and keep this one here all wired up for the recording purposes. Every bird is different. Every bird is great. If you remove the birds, Paul gets quite irate. Whoa! Security, we got a no-niner in progress. Little Monty Python humor there, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that's delicious. Yes. Paul, you got to be careful. He says $17.29 on the Wildwood website, pretty reasonable. That's what I said the other day, and a guy raged at me online, although he did erase it. As I said, in comparison to a lot of other things, it's equitably priced. And he thought I was going all one percenter. Like, working musicians can't afford that kind of a guitar. I'm like, hey, I'm just saying in comparison to a lot of other guitars, it's very reasonably priced. I'm not making a social economic, statement here. I'm just saying, in comparo to a lot of other AXO, it's reasonable low. What? Behold, I like that kind of talk. Let your soul shine. Gotta let your soul shine. It's better than moonshine. Better than purple shine. Yes, can you dig it? Anyways, I like to say that. Anyways, I like that middle position there with a little bit of that neck split. And then that bridge still on the humbucker side. Sounds good, doggone it. Name that song. Well, it's a little bit of that Rolling Stones. A little bit of that Rolling Stones. Hot stuff. Can't get enough. I like that record, Black and Blue, back in the day. That was 1975, 6, something like that. Yeah. Dennis wants a little close-up and slow Rex Charmer. You rascal. Actually, we can kill two birds with one stone. Let's hear what that middle position sounds like with both of them tapped. Put a little bit of... Doggone nail is catching. There's nothing worse than that. All right. That's that Rex Charmer. Just like that. That's nice and slow. That's nice and slow for yous. Can you dig it? Can you dig it? What stomp box to add to the Greg amplifier? Well, you can do whatever you want. I do like a little bit of delay every now and again through the effects loop. Sometimes I'll just go through the front end if I'm using my looper, and I don't want to put the looper through the effects loop. I'll use my Gristle King overdrive and clean boost in front of it. That Wildwood exclusive Jetter ODS 181 is a great overdrive pedal. I do like a little Phase 95 every now and again, ladies and gentlemen, for a little bit of that phaser action. And but yeah, that harmonic vibrato that you're listening to, that's on the amp. That is on the Koch amp. The Greg. Is that the Collins Telecaster behind me? No, that's my. That's one of the gold Gristle 90s right here. Can you see it? The Gristle 90. With my new Fishman P90s on it. Can you dig it? Elbar says, haven't charged mine since June 20th and still working. You're a rascal. Woo! I like that kind of bravery. Sometimes when I'm going out the door to do a gig, I'm like, when was the last time I charged that guitar up? I'm talking about the pickups, the Fluence pickups on my signature Reverends. I'll just top her off before I go out. It's like the things I remember before I go out to the gigs. Okay, chain strings, check. Power up my guitar, check. Iron the cape, check. Then I'm ready. I put on that cape, doggone, it's sequined and bedecked, bejeweled. And I take the stage like a bold warrior of old. Yes, all of these things are, well, not all of these things are true. First two are, I don't really have a cape. I'm just kind of saying that. One of these days, though, Paul Brown, I think we should get Wildwood capes. What do you think? Paul Brown, when we reunite again out in Colorado to do these videos in the confines of the Wildwood lair, by God, we're going to have capes. I'm going to say this to you right now. The Caped Crusaders will unite, and we will fright. Ho, ho, ho! I see Jennifer Batten out there. Jennifer Batten, Jennifer Batten, song called Jennifer Batten. Jennifer Batten, next time we gig, capes. You ready? I'm ready. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get my doggone bedazzler out, and it's gonna be game on. A lot of people don't understand that, what it takes to provide the amount of pageantry necessary to bewitch a modern-day crowd of music enthusiasts. It's not easy. You can't just play and flare your nostrils and occasionally do the wave with your eyebrows. No, you need more. You need bedazzled capery. And if not, well, you're going to suffer the fate of so many people destined for the middle. destined for the middle. Anyways, guitars, let's get back to it. I like this guitar. It sounds good. That's the both pickups coiled tap. Sounds all delicious. Suckity boogity bob. Oh, but dig that? That's that middle position with both. That is the Collins Telly. We have an overview. Well, we do have a Collins Telly that was played. But that's on its way back, Paul Brown. I packed up all those guitars yesterday like a doggone pack mule. I loaded it in the minivan of glory, and I took it over to the UPS store. And I piled them in one after another. And again, they know me well over there. They don't know us. They don't know each other. We don't know each other by name, but we know each other by knowing look above the mask. And they say, you want a receipt for all that? I go, you're damn right. Such a fellowship at the UPS. And away we go. Anyway... Is Wildwood a Nash dealer? Not that I know, Brock Terry. Someone asked if this guitar is conducive to slide activity. Yes, I would go back to the humbucker land. Humbucker land. Go to Mr. Bridge, maybe. Add a little heat. Can you dig that filth? That's a juicy neck pickup on, or bridge pickup on this beast. I need a Drade slide sky blessing, says Elbar. Well, you know where to find me, doggone it. You know where to find me. Yeah, yo, yeah. Oh. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you dig it? Good Mr. Wiggles on this doggone guitar. I got a Mr. Wiggles on this doggone guitar. Folks, this is a Wildwood exclusive Paul Reed Smith 35th anniversary doggone S2 guitar. S2 guitar, to give you the exact specifics, well, you can go up above. If you're watching on the Facebook, you could look above on the description of this video. You can below it'll hit the link. Below it'll. That's the sound of clicking on the link, ladies and gentlemen. That's how it sounds in the wild. Or if you're watching on the YouTube, you go below. Skadoidle. That's the sound of clicking it on that medium. And you will be transformed and transfixed over to the Wildwood website. Mike says, you and Philip Say should have a jam. We should. You know what? I need to get him on the podcast, too, doggone it. He's a good fella. Folks, this is a Paul Reed Smith Wildwood exclusive 35th anniversary S2 Custom 24. It has the savage birds of prey on the neck, ready to pounce down on your songcraft and feast. As I said before, will devour your songs and your modal activity. Feast upon it and then regurgitate it to its young and its beautiful nest, ensconced in an emerald sanctuary in the wood. Wow. A lot of visuals today. Quilted maple top. This has got a faded blue smoke burst top. Let's look at this rascal. Smoke burst. Woo! That's kind of like that, the tone hue of the creature on Lost. Remember that creature that would come, the smoke creature, and wreak all kinds of havoc? Well, now you can be the havoc with this guitar. When you show up at the local bar and grill to engage in fiendish musical activity, all of a sudden, oh no! You're like, yeah, take it. But you're not going to be causing harm. No, you're a benevolent smoke creature, bringing this guitar and its sweet musics to the fore. What? Smoke on the monster, bedecked with birds of prey, bedecked with birds of prey. Smoke! What? Anyway, 7.42 pounds. That's awfully light. You know, I like my smoke creatures light and able to pivot at any moment in time to do mayhem wherever it feels necessary to do so. Aaron says, cool interview in the latest Guitar Player. Yes, thank you very much. I have yet to read that. I have to check it out. But in the latest Guitar Player magazine, there was also one in Vintage Guitar last month, I believe. And now it was kind of funny. I did all those interviews back in the day. So it's like, at one point I was like, well, you know, I'm 54. I was like, that was before my birthday. I did that interview. And by the time it came out, I was the double nickel, the flight of the double nickel. Look out, here it come. Quilted maple will do that to you. It will indeed. Ozzy Farrow says, I don't see you with the Paul Reed Smith much. Well, you know, here in the delicious room of Orange, I get sent all manner of guitars from our friends at Wildwood. They're out in beautiful Louisville, Colorado. And they send me guitars, and I touch them and play them. And it is joyous. I do these live streams. And then we also do some additional footage. Paul Brown and I were doing some additional footage yesterday with our new setup. And we got a whole lot of work done, doggone it. So, you know, when you're at the Wildwood website and you're looking around, you see a little red camera icon next to the guitar. Chances are there will be a video of yours truly playing that very guitar. That's what it was back in the day. Of course, nowadays, I can't do anywhere near the amount of guitars because we used to do 25 or 30 a day. I'd go out there 4 days a month and get them all done and then return every month to do more. But since COVID-19 has come along, I haven't been out there in quite some time. I've been out there since, Paul, I believe this since February of 2020. Can you dig it? I like that kind of talk. That's a juicy little tone right there, doggone it. Johnny Winter action there. Johnny would do that little double stoppy thing on a neck pickup. He always has that neck pickup on that Firebird, and it sounds glorious. This one's got a great neck pickup sound, too. Sometimes just dwelling on the neck pickup is a good thing. Can you dig that kind of activity? Martin says, does your signature guitar come with a hat? No, but that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. But no, you can get the hats through my website at grantcock.com. You can get a gristle beanie in a variety of colors, but only one size. Whoa! That's a hit jingle. Spoonful. Ooh. I don't know, that sounds pretty damn good to me. That does sounds pretty damn good to me. Can you dig it? How's the whammy bar? It sounds good, Jimmy. I was doing it before. Can you dig it? That is the sound of this glorious instrumentation. Paul Reed Smith. Jordan Deed says, I'm not going to lie, I would rather listen to Justin Bieber than this. Well, you go, my friend. Enjoy what you will. You know what I'd rather be listening to? Nothing. I'd rather just be sitting here playing my guitar, causing a little trouble in my orange room. All right, folks, again, this guitar is, let us do a quick recap. Paul Reed Smith, Wildwood exclusive 35th anniversary S2, custom 24. Faded blue smoke burst. That's a glorious tone hue. Let's check it out. I like it. Jordan says he's just kidding. Jordan, it would be okay if you weren't just kidding. You know, every now and again, a good dose of Bieber beats Gristle. Well, I don't know. There's a lot of kidding in the air. Martin says the S2 has a funny neck. You know, I kind of like it. It's big. It's juicy. Down by the Riffer says, I came here for some artsy-fartsy guitar. Well, I certainly hope I'm delivering it. Doggone it. Bieber beats Gristle any day of the week. Bieber beats Gristle any day of the week. Bieber, Gristle. Bieber pounds Gristle any day of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, remember that. It's okay and it's all right. Listen, Bieber, why do you think PRS is sort of looked down on? I don't think they are. I think people really enjoy it. You know, it's all a matter of what people dig. You know, I kind of look at it like this, folks. You have people who are a little bit more, that want more of a super strat. So instead of being like maybe a traditional Fender individual, they go towards the, you know, James Tylers, the Tom Andersons, the Suhrs. And then there's people that like to come at it from more the Gibson angle. They want kind of like a Les Paul with maybe a whammy bar on it and just a few more appointments. That's kind of like a superized Gibson. That's kind of initially how I looked at the Paul Reed Smith. It certainly is that, or they certainly are that. Is that, are that? I think you know what I'm saying. Of course, they do a lot more than that, but that's kind of the initial thing. So there's a lot of people that, you know, like we're more maybe from a Gibson school of things in terms of scale length and humbuckers, but with some availability, especially in those initial 5-way toggle switch things that the rotary switch that the Paul Reed Smiths had, that you can get some kind of Strat-like tones. And then they had a whammy bar that really worked. So it was kind of like a super luster. It's just my views. And it's kind of just gone from there. They've got a whole bunch of different things now. Of course, they got that new John Mayer guitar, which initially I have to say I was skeptical of. But then I played it and I was like, damn, this thing sounds great. It does sound good. There you go. What? And there are awesome axes. And there are some beautiful stuff. They do have some beautiful, beautiful instruments. The tops are glorious. So I think, you know, that's just it. People get a little tribal with their choice of guitars, you know, and hey, everything's good. Everything has its purpose. I like all guitars. That's kind of my problem, is that my favorite guitar is the one I'm playing currently. Till I get my hands on another one, I'm like, ooh, that's why I'm always in trouble. With guitars, the Vela is a great guitar. I will tell you that, Bob. I played a few of those, and they are magnifico. What about presenting some acoustic guitars? Tobias, you know, we haven't done that from the Orange Room only because I don't have the nice mics here. You know, when we do the Fishman live streams, we've been doing some acoustic stuff, but that's going through the Fishman stuff, which is great because then you can hear how that sounds. But when you're doing a situation where, you know, you probably just want to hear the guitar without the electronics and you just want to hear a microphone in front of it, we just haven't gotten to that point where I would have some nice acoustic mics here. And then they're shipping those guitars. They're a little bit more delicate to ship, and especially when winter comes and so on and so forth. So sounds like I'm making excuses, but we just haven't done it yet from the Orange Room. We did plenty of acoustic videos back when I was out in Colorado doing those videos. And when that resumes again, I'm sure we will resume again. Daniel Johansson says, the DGT seems like a great instrument. Yes, Daniel, I would say that is probably my favorite of the Paul Reed Smith guitars. Not just because David's a buddy of mine, but because that guitar is awesome. The coil tap features on that particular instrument especially are very, very usable. And then, of course, you got the wiggle bar. It plays great, it rings great. And there are some gorgeous iterations. So I would say that is a very excellent example of like the pinnacle of what I think Paul Reed Smith does. Can you dig it? Any recorded acoustic songs in the catalog? Yes, I do. I have a record called Acoustic Gristle Soup that came out 2 years ago. And like almost all my releases now are back up on the digital formats. So you can get a hard copy through my website or through Amazon or wherever you like to get your hard stuff. That sounded weird. But you can go to Spotify and follow me on Spotify, Greg Koch, or Koch Marshall Trio, or both of them. There's 2 records in the catalog, Koch Marshall Trio, Toby Arrives, and the new From the Upna record that you can only listen to on the Koch Marshall Trio station, if you will. All the rest of my catalog, which is about 15 records that are up there. I think there's one missing out of there yet, but that was really more of a compilation anyways. But Acoustic Gristle Soup is definitely on there, and it has an orange cover with a spoon with some substance in it, which is supposed to be delicious gristle being served to you, piping hot. Well, thank you, Maddie K. I'm glad you enjoy that. Which version of your music nets you the most money? I would say the CD version, and then also if you go to Bandcamp. Not all my stuff is on Bandcamp yet. A few different things are, but hard copies and Bandcamp is where we make the most money. And then, although we do get a trickling in from CD Baby every month from all the digital formats, and the more people that follow us on those formats, that speaks to, that's kind of the modern day way of validating, or booking agents, we're trying to book some stuff in a certain region and say, hey, he's getting X amount of, he's got X amount of followers, and according to statistics, a lot of them are in your area, and yada, yada. That's how it's used to kind of procure gigs and so on and so forth. Morning from Australia. Would love to know the details of the amp heads behind you. Love your work. Cheers. Well, thank you, Scott. That amp head behind me is the as yet unreleased version of or I think there might be a few in circulation, but that is the same brains as this amp that I'm using right now. So that is the Greg head. It's either 50 or 25 watts and has 2 channels. There's a channel boost on the second channel, or overdrive boost, excuse me. And then on the top panel, there's a bunch of, you can see on this, there's a bunch of controls there. There's an OTS feature, which is what this is right there. I don't know if you can see those 2 knobs. There's a gain and a volume. That's a 1/2 watt power amp tube that you can overdrive and add that circuit to either channel, adding a little extra heat. And then there's a 3-button harmonic vibrato. You got your rate, you got your depth, but then you also have an output, because a lot of times when you hit a tremolo or a vibrato on an amp, you lose a little bit of gumption. This, you can actually boost it a little bit, so you get a little bit more heat. Then there's a 3-control reverb. So you got your tone, your dwell, and your level. And then there's a presence control and a master volume on the top as well. So those same features are available in the head, and then I have a 212 bottom. The cabinet, the amp itself has 2 10s. They don't weigh all that much. They're not, it's lighter than a twin. Thank you, Maddie K. That's full humbucker. There are coil taps on this. Here we go. That sounds good. It does have two coils. It has two mini toggle switches on it, which allows you to coil tap. Coil tap. Guitar's a pretty attractive instrument, doggone it. Pretty attractive. Any talks with you guys from any further talks with the guys from TrueFar? Yes, Rick. My first course comes out October 27th. We're going to be doing pre-orders very, very soon. It'll be up on all the social media platforms. And I'm new to your forum. Can you share what the Orange Room is and what Wildwood is? Yes, I can. Wildwood is a glorious guitar shop in Louisville, Colorado. And they have just a bevy of glorious guitars from all the big manufacturers. And the big thing about Wildwood is that years ago they discovered the idea of doing Wildwood versions of Fender Custom Shop guitars, Gibson Custom Shop guitars, Paul Reed Smith, all these different brands, Taylor, Reverend, it goes on and on and on. So they do these really cool, tricked out versions, which became a whole other thing, like Wildwood 10s, which are their Fender versions, are legendary, as are Wildwood Spec Les Paul, so on and so forth. So they have so many guitars that they had there that Steve Mesplay had the idea of, wouldn't it be great, in addition to having this website that has all these glorious pictures and all the minutiae of the guitar available online for people to shop, to have someone play these guitars so you could hear them and see what they sound like. So I was doing a ton of stuff for Fender at the time. And Steve got a hold of the Fender rep in the area and said, hey, is there any way we can get Greg come? Because I did a clinic out there with a trio. Actually, I did a clinic out there with... I did a workshop with Roscoe Beck and Tom Breckline on drums. We played, Steve rented a place out there, and we had a great turnout, and it was a blast, and Steve had us over to his house for a tasty feast. Anyway, so a couple years went by, and he had this idea of doing these videos where initially he wanted people from all the different manufacturers to come and play in the studio that he made, play all these different instruments. So Fender called me up. Jeff Bowen called me up. He was a Fender rep in that area at the time, and said, hey, remember Steve from Wildwood? I was like, yeah. If you'd like to come out here, come out and do some videos, would you be up for doing it? I'm like, sure. So they flew me out, went into the studio, they put a Telecaster in my hands, and they had a little teleprompter that just said the name of the guitar, the weight of the guitar, and the serial number. So he said, if you could just like kind of play some different styles and do like clean and dirty and, you know, with each pickup selection. I'm like, sure, no problem. Then he goes, if you want to talk about what the guitar, how your impressions of the guitar. So the camera started rolling, I played a little bit, and then I talked, oh, this is great, then you can do this and this and this, and then after I got done with the video, he stood up and walked over and said, can I hire you to do this? I said, what? He goes, I will fly you out here every month to do videos out here. I said, kind of like a job? Ho! And he said, well, you can call it whatever you want. So that was like 10 years ago, and so I've been going out there every month, except after COVID started. So where the Orange Room comes in, this is my house. I live in Wisconsin. I live in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, or Wauwatosa, actually. And so when COVID started, I started doing live streams, both for Fishman and for Wildwood, here in this room, the Orange Room. And it just became kind of a life of its own. I say live from the Orange Room. And so Wildwood sends me guitars, and we do these videos. They go up on the different platforms on YouTube, Facebook, so on and so forth. And people get to hear these different guitars. They can click and check them out on the website. And a lot of people have been finding this is a good way to shop for guitars. And everyone seems happy. So in lieu of me returning to Wildwood to do some videos, which it will happen at some point in the hopefully not too distant future, I've been doing these things here, out here in beautiful Wisconsin. That's how many have I kept? That's an excellent question. A few, let's put it that way. I have kept a few guitars here. It's very dangerous to have the guitars arrive at your house. Then you have to play them. And then you're like, oh, I think I want this. And then, yeah. Anywho, there you have it. I hope that answers your question. Yes, I played at the first Crossroads Festival at the one down at the Cotton Bowl. That was also with Roscoe Beck. It was myself, Roscoe Beck, my buddy Johnny C. on drums, Riley Osborne, rest his soul, on keyboards, and Michael Cross. It was kind of a combination of my band, so me and Johnny from my band, and then the house at that time, the house band at Antone's. Do I know Clapton? I do not. You know, he walked right by me. I didn't know if he had heard us play or not, and he was like right here with his back turned, and I would have had to have gone like this, and I just couldn't do it. I was like, I'm not going to tap on his shoulder and go, hi, I'm a big fan, and thanks for having me, which I probably could have done, but because I didn't have someone introduce, I just didn't want it to be weird, because I heard he can be weird. So I thought, I'm not going to experience that today. There'll be another time, and maybe there won't be, but that's all right. That's okay. How many albums did I do using the Mighty Roscoe? That's a good question, Steve Karras. He's on the 4 Days in the South record. I'm on a few tracks of his record, which was called Walk On. It was almost done by the time I got involved, but I think I played slide on a few songs. And then he was on my on the Live on the Radio Volume 1, and then he's on a few tunes on the Live on the Radio Volume 2, which just came out, which was recorded back in that era of things. So 3 records he's on, and then I'm on one of his. How that goes. Are you a beer or a wine guy? I haven't drank in, as of last week, 26 years. But I wasn't real particular. Actually, I was kind of a beer snob. And, you know, yeah. Strat's Got Your Tongue. Yes, that is one of the records. Actually, he's not on Strat's Got Your Tongue. That's my old rhythm section of Kevin Mushel on bass and Gary Kaler on drums on that. Love your version of Folsom Prison, 4 Days in the South. Thank you. You know what's kind of funny about that is that we recorded that record down at Johnny Sandlin's studio. I got to know Johnny Sandlin actually through T. Lavitz. Johnny Sandlin both of those guys are deceased, bless him. T was a really good buddy of mine, and he introduced me to Johnny Sandlin. Johnny was, he was in Hourglass. He was the drummer in Hourglass with Greg and Dwayne Allman. And then he was like a staff producer at Capricorn Records for years, but he mastered Live at the Fillmore. I believe he compiled Eat a Peach, but he produced Brothers and Sisters, as well as he produced Laid Back, the Greg Allman record with Midnight Rider on it, and Queen of Hearts, all that kind of stuff. And then Highway Call, the Dickie Betts record. Anyway, so I met Johnny through T. T sent him our first record, and he really liked it, and he was trying to help us out. As a matter of fact, I sent him the second record, which at that time was Strat's Got Your Tongue, and he sent it to a guy named Bunky Odom, which sounds like a strange name, but Bunky Odom at that time was the manager for Derek Trucks at the time, who was just this young phenom who no one had really heard of as of yet. And they were looking for maybe a guitar player to be in his band, and Johnny Sandlin recommended me. Wouldn't that have been great? But that didn't quite pan out. But there were some phone calls back and forth. When I talked to Derek once and we opened up for him, I said, you know, years ago I got this call from Bunky Odom. He goes, I remember that. You know, he didn't remember me, but he remembered obviously Bunky and Johnny and the gang. So kind of wild. Anyway, so the funny story about the Folsom Prison was when we were recording down at Johnny's. When I would do my wilder stuff, it kind of scared Johnny a little bit. He had a very dry sense of humor. And when I did Folsom Prison Blues, there's one part in there where I said, just to watch him die. And I go, die, sucker. And I go, boo-woo, on the telly. And Johnny's like, I think this deserves slightly more respectful rendition. Like, okay. So, but my other favorite Johnny story is that we were recording one song and his assistant was engineering, and we were doing one of my crazy jams with the delay, and it was, I wouldn't say it was hard rock, but it was definitely more of a kind of a progressive thing. And after we got done taking a couple stabs at that song, we stopped and we went out for lunch. And when we came back, there was a note from Johnny on the console, and it said, "Greg, Satan called. He said, good job." Oh, Lord. What are you going to do? Listen, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourselves today. Again, if you're interested in this very guitar, there's a link up above and below. It is a Wildwood exclusive 35th anniversary Paul Reed Smith S2. And it is quite the guitar, especially for the money. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm some kind of elitist snob when I say it's inexpensive. It's still a good chunk of change, but in comparison to a lot of things, it's far less expensive. Anyways, folks, thanks so much for tuning in. We will see you back on Thursday. Until then, take care of yourselves.